Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Well, welcome and good evening, you wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar Dee Eight. That's right. Just once in the past I underwent training in order to step into the world of witches. I accept that the only power that could save me from the sad, painful days at St. Lucia Academy was a thing called magic, and I received Maria's introduction to the basics. Imagine a vast space, the scene from when I looked down at the mountain's base, from a rest stop at the peak. Like this, I projected that scene from a memory into my mental world. Normal girls get over their fascination with magical girls when they leave elementary school, so seriously training to use magic at this age was embarrassing even for me. But even that embarrassed feeling felt pleasant to me now. Right then, I was learning mental concentration from Maria Oni-chan in order to use magic, but it wasn't going very well. It was about as hopeless as teaching a person to wiggle their ears by showing them. It seems that you need to imagine a vast space to gain the mental concentration for using magic. So I remember the time from my younger days when my family had gone on a small vacation, when I had looked down towards the base from a viewing platform at a rest stop on a peak. And I tried painting this scene in my mental world. No, still far too small. Imagine a much, much wider space and create your own mental world. Your image is still way too foggy. There's no temperature in the air and there's no wind. No smells either. The world is still very faint. You can leave those for later, so for now, imagine an even wider space. Why do you have to imagine a vast space? From the time of their birth, humans have inside them a toxin that blocks magic. If that toxin isn't purified, you can't use magic well. One effective method of achieving this is to imagine a vast space. Just now I thought of the world as seen from the window of an airplane, but that didn't work. I can't even think of a world more vast than that. In that case, Maria just has to teach Angie about the vast world Maria has. Won't that make it easy for Angie to imagine as well? Are you? That's right. And I'm interested in the kind of world Oni-chan imagines when she uses magic. I'll use it for reference. Ooh, that won't work. The mental world must be vast and isolated, a world with no obstructions other than yourself. So if you teach someone about that world, it won't be isolated anymore. That's why you mustn't reveal your mental world to anyone. And if you draw up a good mental world, you too must keep it as a secret only for yourself. Are you? So stingy, Maria. Thanks, Sakutaro. I guess there are no shortcuts in training. I'll make an effort. It's okay, I've been given plenty of hints. Are you? Do your best, Angie. Until recently, I thought there was no way something like magic could save me. After all, magic doesn't exist in this world. That kind of thing's supposedly nothing more than an illusion, a delusion, a daydream. However, Maria Oni-chan showed me that she could fill her own world with happiness using a power that's impossible for me. I used to look down on that happiness as something empty. Because I didn't believe in magic, I also denied everything else, refusing to believe in the happiness that magic gave birth to. But slowly, bit by bit, Maria Oni-chan's world grew happier. In the past, I disparaged it, thinking it too pitiful to look at. But that might have been nothing more than jealousy. I was forced to admit that, and now this was my first step in my search for happiness. A vast space, a dry wind that could blow without being blocked by anything. Let me feel that wind blowing through my own hair. I see, even the ground might get in the way as I am now. Then I don't need a ground. Brush the ground away, downwards, downwards. In other words, it was as though I had floated up, leaving the ground far behind. After pushing the ground further and further downwards, the ground grew foggy and faint, and for the first time it began to feel like the sky. Then I understood its vastness. In that instant I felt the vivid wind go right through even my body, in other words, blowing through me without any resistance. Yes, maintain that sensation. Yeah, I get it. I get that I've been released from all hindrances. You did it, Angie, you did it. You've taken your first step into the world of witches. This is the world of witches. Yeah, so let's try practicing the magic you've always wished for, Angie. Magic that'll summon friends. A magic that'll create allies who will save you from your loneliness and thereby bring you happiness. Will Angie also be able to summon friends like me? Uryu. As she is now, she's still far too early for Angie to summon friends like Sakutaro from the Sea of Zero. To begin, let's start by practicing with friends that are easy to summon. What will we start with? Because you're a witch of marriage sorcery, you are also permitted to use those employed by other witches in the Alliance. For example, Sakutaro is my friend, but since you're in the same alliance, he's your friend too, and you can summon him. You want to try summoning Sakutaro one of these days? When you're so lonely it gets tough, I'm sure Sakutaro will cheer you up. I see. You could call Sakutaro a being employed by Oni-chan. So a witch in the same alliance as her. It's possible for me to summon Sakutaro too. I met Sakutaro's gaze. How pleasant it would be to have him just be there, be my pillow, so he could talk to me a bit on lonely nights. If I call out, will you appear and talk to me? Uryu! I can't wait to be summoned by you, Angie. Uryu! Looking happy, Sakutaro pressed his head against me like a cat. Suddenly getting a cute younger brother felt a bit confusing, a bit embarrassing, and a bit nice. Unable to understand why I couldn't honestly accept this feeling, I felt tears well up in my eyes. Right. I'll give it all I've got, Oni-chan. Then, let's practice. Let's try summoning the furniture of Beatrice, a witch from the same alliance. Beatrice's furniture. Hearing Beatrice's name gave me a slightly strange feeling. When it came to the crime on Rock and Jimmy, the public kept going on about the frenzy about how it was a sacrifice ceremony performed by a witch. And that witch was Beatrice. So if the witch did commit that crime, that would make her the culprit who stole my family from me. However, Maria Oni-chan said that Beatrice was a good witch. If I held negative emotions toward Beatrice, she'd get mad, leading to a nasty fight and refuse to talk for a while. At this moment, Oni-chan was my only close friend, so to avoid worsening her mood, I decided to think of Beatrice as nothing more than Oni-chan's magic teacher. Also, I believed that the crime was a conspiracy cooked up by Aunt Ava. I would definitely expose the truth about that someday. Angie, obstructions are entering your body again. Sorry, I lost my concentration. One more time. I'd expect no less from you, Oni-chan. You instantly noticed that I was being overcome with idle thoughts. After shaking my head just once, I reimagined the wind blowing through a vast space. The Seven Sisters of Purgatory, that's a pretty creepy name. But they're very energetic and fun kids. They might become your new friends, Angie. First, I'll show you how to summon them. Watch. Maria Oni-chan lifted both hands up to the level of her head and quietly unified her mind. The state I was able to reach, and except by meditation for a long period of time, she reached in the span of a quick few breaths. Then a pale light began to gather in her palms, and one by one the girls began to show themselves. 1, 2, 3 people. 4, 5, 6, 7 people. The way they were summoned one after another in a line was a masterpiece. Incredible. Just like the illustrations in Oni-chan's grimoire, the Seven Sisters of Purgatory. The younger sisters were behind the eldest, Lucifer, who saluted Oni-chan. The Seven Sisters of Purgatory right here. Lady Maria, it has been quite some time. Yes. Long time no see. Is everyone well? We furniture are what we are because we are used. To us, being summoned after so long is truly an honor. Kya, Sakutaro! It's been so long. You look as cute as ever. Me first. Kya, today he's so fluffy, squishy, and cute. Ah. Let me hug him too. Uryu, can't breathe. I won't run away, so let go of me, everyone. Hey, you all. Are you trying to break Lady Maria's furniture? Anyway, get away from him. Hugging is prohibited. Even though you're saying that, it looks like you want to hug him the most, Satan, nay. Giggle. Ack. It's not like I have any interest in something so fluffy, squishy, and cuddly. Hey. Be silent in the presence of Lady Maria and Angie-sama, you foolish sisters. They were so energetic, I was shocked by their sudden burst of activity right after they appeared. And on top of that, I was surprised that the innocent Sakutaro was on such good terms with the seven sisters. That's unexpected. To think that Sakutaro would be so loved by such shady people. They're fellow members of the same alliance. There's nothing to be scared of, right? But on the off chance that their mood worsens, it looks like they could finish Sakutaro off in an instant. It's all right. The witches of the Alliance and their furniture are all friends. So Sakutaro can play without worrying. Of course, that goes for you and me too, Angie. It was one of the pacts of the marriage sorcery. Mutual non-aggression and non-interference. Member witches must respect each other's magic and creations. Even the sisters who were normally shady and belligerent treated fellow Alliance members as friends. So, to the seven sisters, Sakutaro was a mutual friend. He was loved by all of them, and they were even trying to steal him away from each other. This scene, as they squeezed him and loved him, was a bit charming. I see. They're fellow members of the marriage sorcery, after all. At a glance, you'd think that Sakutaro's casual atmosphere and the Seven Sisters' shady one would be like water and oil. It looked like they definitely wouldn't be compatible, and yet they were interacting in a friendly way like it was completely natural. If this wonderful alliance could join all the people of the world together, I wonder if everyone in the world would be able to become friends right away. All you seven sisters, listen. Right now, Angie is in the middle of magic training, so I want everyone to lend their power. Certainly, Lady Maria. But what specifically? The magical power materializing you will move from me to Angie. In that state, I want you to be by her side all the time. You just have to talk with her. My apologies, but I wonder if Angie-sama's magical power will be able to easily summon all seven of us around the clock. The oldest sister, Lucifer, gazed at my complexion as she advised this, speaking reservedly. In other words, she was saying that the burden might be too heavy for me at this point in time. That's the kind of training it is. Angie has more talent in magic than everyone imagines. It'll be pretty tough, but I think it's worth it for Angie to take this challenge as she is now. Angie, starting now, I'll move the magic power materializing them over to you. In other words, it will become as though you had summoned them. Is it like training weights? So, what Maria Oni-chan was trying to say was something like this. To keep the seven sisters materialized, you are continuously burdened with a significant amount of magical power. Maybe you could say it was like training while wearing a weighted wristband. Uryu! Doing all of the seven sisters would be pretty tough. Isn't that asking a lot of Angie all of a sudden? Thank you, Sakutaro, but this is training to become a witch. I want to see how far I can go. The seven of them certainly do seem boisterous, but even if this is for training, having them with me will surely distract me from my loneliness at least a little. I understood it would be an ordeal, but wanted to give it a shot. Don't overdo it if it gets tough, okay? And everyone, if it looks tough for Angie, take it easy. Certainly. Get it, everyone? Yes, One-sama. Well then, Angie-sama, for now, we the Seven Sisters of Purgatory will become your furniture. Lady Maria, if you would. Yeah. So, Angie, can we start? Sure. I'm a little nervous. Uryu, this might be tough all of a sudden. If you feel like you're getting a headache, lower your magic power immediately. Okay, I'll move the source of the magic power over to Angie. Meow. In an instant, the inside of my head felt very heavy. It is very tough. Until then, the inside of my head had only been used for myself. It was almost like it was now being used for 7 other people. If they just stood there and blinked once or left out a single sigh, that would put a strong pressure on my head. Lady Maria, my apologies, but perhaps the burden from all 7 sisters at once might be too great after all. I'm okay, Ak. No, it won't work after all. You're using all of your energy to materialize them. There's no point if the burden is such that you can't balance it out with your everyday life. And anyway, this is a bit unrefined for a witch. You? That's why I said doing so many suddenly was impossible. Everyone erase yourselves for a bit. Right. It seems it'd be better to lower the number of people. Asmoa, raise yourself. Me again? I'm opposed to the younger sister bullying. Disappear from starting from the top every once in a while. That would mean I'd have to disappear second, right? No. Don't make a ruckus, Asmo and Leviane. That kind of disturbance will become a burden to Angie-sama. Eek! Stupid Satan. The noise you're making is also a burden. The 7 sisters started arguing over who should erase themselves first. The energy from that fight all became a burden, forcing Angie to bear an even greater headache. In the end, they decided the order with rock, paper, scissors, and 1, 2, 3 of them disappeared. But even at that level, Angie was still far from comfortable. In the end, once 6 of them had been erased themselves, I was finally able to calm my breathing. With my magical power, forget the 7 sisters, just 1 person is my limit. Sheesh. This way, it's not the 7 sisters, but just me, right? You're a bit unreliable, Angie-sama. Mammon, who had won all the rock, paper, scissors matches, and was permitted to remain to the very end, grumbled. You? Mammon, you shouldn't say things like that. Angie is still just starting her training. Are you all right, Angie? Is your headache okay? Sakotaro stretched up on his tiptoes, trying to pat Angie's head. Watching this, Maria scratched her head, acknowledging that this sudden training had been too difficult. Ooh, maybe that was a little too much. I'd be perfectly fine with this much, though. The more friends you have, the more fun it is. Now I'm even more aware how incredible you are, Oni-chan. Apparently, when one reaches Maria Oni-chan's class, one can summon enough people to perform in an orchestra. For a witch apprentice, that's awe-inspiring. Are you okay, Angie-sama? I'm sorry. It looks like summoning you is the most I can do. Well, I guess I'm okay with that. After all, of all the 7 sisters, I get Angie-sama all to myself. What do you think, Angie-sama? If it's just me, will it be a burden for you? No, I think I'll be able to manage you alone somehow. Great. Then, please train a lot and cultivate your magic power a bunch. Then someday for sure, please bring the 7 sisters together and let us serve you. Promise? After confirming that, for the time being, her own materialization wasn't causing any issues, Mammon immediately became cheery again and tried to make me promise to work harder. I see that definitely fits with her being greed, but maybe you could also call it having a positive attitude. Yes, I promise. I have to be able to do at least that much someday. Thank you, Angie-sama. I, Mammon of Green, will surely serve you until that day. My headache finally abated, and I relaxed both hands, which had been clutching at my head. Then Mammon stuck out her hand, helping me stand back up. You? Maria, Angie is about that time. If we don't return to the room, you'll be scolded. Huh? Oh. I hadn't expected Sakotaro to talk about the time. I was brought back into reality. As though the light had disappeared, the vast world sunk into the darkness, and I was in a tiny, tiny bathroom stall, sitting on a toilet. Oni-chan's grimoire was open on my lap. I looked at the clock. It was almost 20 o'clock, time for lights out. If I show up late for the roll call before lights out, not only will things get pretty annoying, but it will cause trouble for my roommates and floor mates. I couldn't care less about causing them trouble, but I don't want them messing with me later. Sigh. My free time by myself is already over for today. I'll sleep, wake up tomorrow. Tomorrow will begin another long day, gray day. Colored day will repeat again. I closed the grimoire and rose from the toilet seat. At that time, Oni-chan appeared again and spoke. Hey, Angie. You're forgetting your training. Take Mammon with you. I had forgotten. The moment I had returned to reality, Mammon's materialization had stopped. One more time, I created a strong image of the existence of Mammon in my mind. Sheesh, you're so mean, Angie-sama. Why'd you erase me so suddenly? At this rate, you won't be able to call all 7 sisters easily. I'm sorry. I got careless. It's been incredibly long since I materialized in the human world, so I'm interested in absolutely everything. I'm getting a bit excited. Where is this? The St. Lucia Academy dormitory. This is a stall in the shared bathroom. Each room has its own bathroom, so no one comes here. It's quiet and the perfect place for reading books. So in the dorm, you have to hide in a toilet stall even to read a book? Do they burn books or something? I have a 2-person room, so my roommate is always there. Our relationship is gloomy and it feels like I'm always getting ignored. The atmosphere is bad, so I really can't relax there, and as long as I'm not there, she can do what she likes and call her friends over and chat away. It's more convenient for them too if I don't return until just before lights out. There's also a library, but there's a group that uses it as a meeting place, and they've always talking behind my back. So I don't like to go there. During lunch, it's the bushes behind the school building. During that night, it's a stall in the shared bathroom of the dorms. Those are the only hideaways where I can find peace. I opened the door to the stall and went out. I turned around, signaling with my eyes for Mammon to come with me. I don't really get it, but I realize it'd be hard to call this place pleasant for you, Angie-sama. Let's go out quickly. I hate the air here. Really? I think the air here is the most decent. When I left the bathroom and entered the corridor, because it was near lights out time, several kids who had gone to play in other rooms were dashing back to their own. When it came time for lights out, we had to change into uniform pajamas that we hated and called prison clothes, line up in the hallway, and go through the dorm leader's roll call. On the off chance that someone was late, we would take collective responsibility and all the floor mates would have to undergo punishment in the form of volunteer work. As long as I avoided this, the girls would look at me coldly, but they wouldn't get in my way. That alone was enough for me. Mammon looked at the passing kids and the furnishings of the dorm with interest. Without paying her any particular attention, I hurried back to my room. In front of the room was my roommate, who had already changed into prison clothes, chatting with some kids from the room next door. When they noticed me hurrying back, the topic of their conversation noticeably changed. They lowered their voices, stealing glances at me. I acted like I didn't notice, went into my room, and changed. Then I hastily went out into the corridor. Everyone was already lined up. Hey, this is weird. I thought this was a school for rich girls. It's like a prison. It's stupid. You think so too. That's what I think. And unlike prison, you don't get out early for good behavior. After bad-mouthing the place, I noticed something. Having someone to listen to your complaints feels surprisingly good. Fortunately, Mammon's form can only be seen by her summoner, me. And of course, there was no need to speak out loud for this conversation. All I had to do was speak inside my mind so no one could listen in. Magic and the friends it creates. Magic might actually not be so bad. All of these people are sheltered brats. Feels like they aren't even alive. Kiahaha, stop it. If you're seen by some chance, it'll be pretty bad, right? Humans without a fragment of hopes or dreams are like a lump of anti-magic. There's no way they'll be able to see me. Ha! You lower life forms can't even see. Giggle. Are you okay being around so many humans with the magic-resisting toxin? I'm fine as long as you continue to make me materialize, Angie-sama. Although since you'll probably have to keep concentrating to materializing, there's a chance you'll neglect your daily life. Look, that girl you're sharing a room with is calling you, right? Huh? Oh. Ushiromiya-san, are you listening? About our weekly duties starting next week. She's probably trying to push a few more chores onto me. My roommate, who never even looked at me in the eye normally, was smiling at me unpleasantly, but it'll be easier to have the weekly duties pushed on me alone rather than doing it together with her. That's a small price to pay to have her continue to ignore me nonstop. Even so, with a completely shameless excuse, she sidestepped the issue for some reason and insisted on flipping the situation around as though I should have come forward and done it of my own initiative. One of the special traits of this academy is that it's full of girls who don't know how to ask for a favor. That kid, she pisses me off. I'd love to just gouge her right in the forehead. Yeah, I hope you do, one of these days. Yeah, having a friend nearby all the time to complain to makes me happier than I thought it would. It really was lively with the 7 sisters gathered together. I'm sure just watching them mess around will be a lot of fun. I want to gain enough magical power to summon all the 7 sisters at once and soon, so I'll train much more and finally summon the thing I really want to find. What is it you really want to summon, Angie-sama? Mama noticed my conversation with myself inside my head and asked about it blankly. I hesitated to talk about it, but then figured that there was no reason to hide it and told her. My family. Dad. Mom. Oni-chan. So you mean the souls of the dead. Calling a resident of another world is summoning, but calling back the souls of the dead is called resurrection, and they're completely different. Resurrection is supposed to be a very high-level magic. I know, so much so that even Maria Oni-chan can't do it at all, but that's the thing I want to find with magic the most. I've been warned that it's very difficult high-level magic, so great that in the worst-case scenario I might not necessarily reach the point even after my training for my whole life. Furthermore, I have no vessel. A vessel is vital for making a magic succeed, whether it's summoning or resurrection. Because I don't have that, a magic that would already have been difficult is now hopeless. That's right. I have nothing to remember Dad or Mom by. However, by an extraordinary coincidence, I do have something to remember just Oni-chan by. And that's this. That hair accessory with the pink jewel? What the hell, I hate to say it, but it looks a little cheap for you, Angie-sama. Long ago, without telling Dad, I went with Mom to meet Oni-chan, and we went to play at an amusement park. This is a prize from the crane game there. I know it's cheap, I realize that it doesn't match my style, and I get that it's too childish. But this hair accessory is the only thing that makes me feel as though Battler Oni-chan is by my side. Are we at all concerned that the 7 Sisters of Purgatory at one point were repeatedly murdering Battler over and over? Gleefully. The glass case had been filled with plastic capsules, packed with fun-looking things. It seemed that each capsule had some cute accessory in it. The game was to grab those with the crane, but I was young and it was too hard for me. I tried it several times, but I didn't even get close. Mom said that whatever was inside was probably cheap anyway, and we didn't even know what we'd get. So there was no point in getting all upset over it. But whether it was something cheap or not wasn't the problem. The process of grabbing happiness with my own hands felt really important and sacred to me. So I wanted the cheap thing inside more than anything. Then Battler Oni-chan came over after finishing a game of shooting soldiers with a gun and tried to do it for me. With his arms that were longer than mine, Oni-chan grasped the happiness that I couldn't reach. Oni-chan really was coordinated. It seems he often played with his friends at the arcades. After only 1 or 2 attempts, he grasped the thing on the other side of the glass of the crane that I hadn't even been able to touch and threw it into the exit chute. When Oni-chan tossed me the capsule, I remember that he looked very, very reliable. For several days I felt like opening the capsule would be a waste. Then one day I finally opened it up, and what revealed itself inside was this pink jeweled hair accessory. Since that day, it's been a symbol for Oni-chan. Since I was young, I felt that having all 4 of us together, including Battler Oni-chan, was a precondition for a happy family, so I wanted Oni-chan and Dad to make up quickly. In my own way, I treated this hair accessory as a charm for bringing my whole family together, so I always used to wear it. I wanted to feel my reliable, fun, and wonderful Oni-chan by my side all the time, and let him live in our house. But my memories of Oni-chan are very distant. I can't do it as easily as Maria Oni-chan created Sakutara from a lion-stuffed animal. One day, I'll surely possess the high-level magic to revive the souls of the dead. And the only key, the only vessel that can make that successful is this. I see. I did feel an incredible magic power from that hair accessory, so that's what it was. Magical power. There's magical power in this thing Oni-chan gave me. Maybe I should say that it resides in you, Angie-sama. Your strong desire to call your brother gives you magical power. Resurrection certainly is a high-level magic, but there can be no mistake that you're steadily and unconsciously climbing the stairs towards it. I'm glad. It's nice to hear someone other than myself acknowledge that. Your own effort isn't something that you can observe by yourself. In that sense, even though these words came from a shady demon girl who controls one of the 7 deadly sins, they made me very happy. Well, I can't guarantee that you'll obtain the resurrection magic before your life is over. However, your power as a witch is proportional to the height of the mountain you dare to climb. If you don't lose heart, I'm sure you'll rival even our former master Beatrice as a great witch someday. I wonder if I can. I wonder if I can become a great witch and revive Oni-chan. No, my family. The Witch of Resurrection, Lady Ange. Kya. Wonderful. A witch of resurrection is a very rare kind of witch. Having a master like you would make me pretty proud. Actually, I'd love for that to happen, because furniture's worth is also proportional to the class of its master. Please pass Beatrice-sama up and become a peerless great witch. As a representative of the 7 Sisters of Purgatory, I'll support you from the bottom of my heart. Kia! I'd thought that if a magical friend were to appear for me, a cute kid like Sakutaro would be the best, but even this 5th sister of the shady 7 sisters who controlled the 7 deadly sins was enough to calm my heart so much all by herself. Maria Oni-chan has probably known that since long ago. That's why she recommended the world of witches to me over and over and over again, and I kept on stubbornly rejecting her. I should have given in and started my training as a witch sooner. A year for a child is worth 10 years as an old person, right? Now I find my past self, which only ever complained, deplorable for wasting my precious time. Long after I turned off the lights and slipped into bed, Mammon continued to talk to me alongside my pillow. I promise. One day, for sure, I'll develop a magical power that can summon the 7 sisters, and I'll let them have a lively and fun time. The 7 of them make a single whole. None can be left out. Family must be together. I must bring them together. Why does this remind me of the Holder series for the creepypastas? Does anybody remember that? My awareness began to return slowly. Unable to stand watching Aunt Rosa and Maria Oni-chan's relationship, I ran away from Beato and Oni-chan's game, didn't I? I've got to go back. I've got to go back, support Oni-chan, and quickly bring him back from the strange world of the witch's game. After all, as long as I'm here, I'm not allowed to call myself Angie. At that time, I felt someone's presence. When I turned around, I could see Mammon there. Gretel-sama. Beatrice-sama said that if you do not return soon, it will become a hindrance to the progression of the game. I beg that you return swiftly. Thank you. I'll go back now. Isn't it great? What is? That you were able to meet Battler Oni-chan. Is that sarcasm? Well, if that's how it sounds, feel free to call it that. I'm sorry. I should have taken it literally. Yeah, you're right. Even in this screwed up world, being able to meet Oni-chan makes me happy from the bottom of my heart. And you'll win against Beatrice for your Oni-chan's sake? Yes. Can't have him playing around in a world like this forever. It's about time for him to return home. That's why I came to call him. Please do the best you can, although I can't support you, since my current master is Beatrice-sama. I know. Until October 5th, 1986, you are Beatrice's furniture, and eventually you'll become my friend. But eventually you'll throw that friend away. After all, coughing noises. Mammon moaned as if she bit her tongue, staggering as she clutched her chest. Apparently the rules apply to people other than me as well. Are you okay? It's pretty painful. Excuse me. Gretel-sama. No, thank you. I'm glad I was able to meet Oni-chan. That's my answer to your first question. Well, let's go back. If I grumble too much, you'll get in trouble with your current master. Yes, I'm glad you understand. Well then, this... Mammon? Huh? I'm sure Mammon was about to say, well then, this way, but then she stopped as though the film had been torn off at that point. It looked like she's suddenly frozen. Then I noticed. She wasn't the only thing that had frozen. Even the air and the floating bits of dust had frozen in place in empty space. A world where it seemed even time had frozen. Yes, this looks like a portent that Birkenstell will appear. But the atmosphere was different somehow. Then I understood. It wasn't Birkenstell. It was the other witch. How are you feeling, Angie? Lambda Delta? The rules don't apply to you, do they? Of course not. Rules exist to bind others. What kind of idiot would bind themselves with them? Birkenstell is a witch who supports me, but this girl is different. This witch supports Beatrice. In other words, she's a being on the opposing side. But there's some kind of difference between her and Beatrice. Even compared to Birkenstell, there's something strange about Lambda Delta's existence. It's, how should I put it? Maybe like she's a being from a higher dimension. In any event, I was still unsure about how to deal with her. The only thing that was certain was that she was my enemy. No, just knowing that might be enough, but... So, do you have some business with me? Not really. When I listened in on your conversation, it started to get a bit interesting. I thought I'd let you hear something good. You're supposed to be my enemy. I can't think of a reason for you to tell me something that helped me, so the moment I start listening to you, I lose. Bye. See you next time. Don't misunderstand. My opponent is Burn, not you. In other words, it's possible for there to be a topic that benefits both you and me. Sorry, but I don't feel like listening. Although I said that, I probably won't be released from this frozen time until Lambda Delta is satisfied. This itself might be proof that she's in a higher dimension than me. I haven't been given the option of not listening to her. All I can do is try not to be shaken by anything she says and strengthen my mental guard. She'll probably try to make me believe something disadvantageous to me, threatening me. Giggle, giggle. There's no need to square off like that. I just came here to resolve your misunderstanding. No, that's not quite it. I came to let you know about the lie Birkenstell told you. Birkenstell lied? Didn't Burn make it sound like your big brother would come back if you defeated Beato? Who knows? I don't feel like talking with you. My brother coming home, I hadn't been promised anything that dreamlike. Getting just one person, only if I was lucky, had been a promise without very high hopes, but that's enough for me. After being promised an eternity of isolation, having a faint but still non-zero chance was like a shining beacon. In a way, that promise of Burn wasn't a lie. If Burn promised, then I'm sure that if you defeat Beato, Battler and your parents will be released and will come back to you. Then there's no problem. Seriously? That kid is surprisingly cruel. To think she'd deceive you, even though she knows. How are you saying I was deceived? Damn, I'm letting her take the initiative, but I won't be released until I lend an ear to her, so it's something I'll have to hear anyway. Even though I realized I was falling into a trap, I urged her forwards. What year is it now? You're talking about the world of the game board. In that case, it's October 4th, 1986. That's right. So if you win against Beato, then on October 6th, when the typhoon has passed, the people who were trapped on the island will return. On October 6th, 1986, right? So what? How was your October 6th, 1986? You were at your relative's house, right? I'd been at the house of the only Sumadara my mother trusted, Grandpa. We got a call. When I was playing with building blocks in the tatami room, we got that call. After watching to make sure that I'd remembered, Lambda Delta laughed unpleasantly and spoke. Hey, on your October 6, 1986, did Battler Oni-chan come home? Even though I didn't understand what she was saying, I noticed unpleasant sweat seeping out all over my face. You're talking about the paradox of, well, they can't come home because, according to my timeline, they don't come home. One, we could just go multiverse theory and make a different reality where they do come home. Or we can find a reason for them to go somewhere else for 10 years and then mysteriously be found. Like, they tried to leave on a boat and it got hit by the typhoon still. And they've been in a coma in some hospital for 10 years. Or Battler was washed up on shore and has been working growing potatoes on like the shores of Australia, and then all of a sudden he'll get his memory back. How about that? We just had to have some sort of reason why Battler is, one, alive and okay, but two, wouldn't have come home to see us. And also, what about the rest of my family? Well, maybe Battler, Rudolph, and Kyrie are all having amnesia problems and they're, I don't know, living with penguins in Antarctica or something. I don't get it. I don't get it. What is the switch saying? See, if you defeat Beato, Battler will certainly be released, and he'll probably return home, to his home in 1986. After all, that's how it is, right? Battler was locked up from the 4th to the 5th October 1986, so only naturally returned the next day, if he were to be released, right? And you? You're a person of the year 1998. You're Ushiromi Anji of the 1998 where Battler did not return. Know what that means? What are you talking about? If my family came back home on October 6th, wouldn't that be wonderful? I'd come home from Grandpa's house right away, and then we'd meet. Everyone would be happy. Yes, Ushiromi Anji would probably be reunited with her family. The 6-year-old Ushiromi Anji from 1986 would, right? Who am I? Ushiromi Anji, an 18-year-old one. No, that's not it. You aren't Ushiromi Anji. You're a witch's piece with that name. Strictly speaking, the name Angie Beatrice belongs to a completely different person. Know what that means? I don't really get it anymore. Huh? Who? Who? Am I? Huh? And that's why I think Burn's cruel. No, I think she's a meanie. Especially since it's not like she hasn't gone through the same thing herself. Am I being tricked somehow? Yeah, but please don't blame Burn, okay? After all, depending on how you look at it, that kid isn't lying. If Beato is defeated, your family will be returned. Returned to Ushiromi Anji. But she probably didn't say that this Ushiromi Anji would be you, right? Was it like that? Was it like that? What did Burn Castell say to me again? Your assistance is required. Your family needs it. Burn Castell started by saying that. Then I spoke. If I save them, does that mean my family will come home? And how did Burn Castell answer that again? I cannot promise that. She did make me a promise. In exchange for accepting this fight, yes, this is what she said. In exchange, I will search for a fragment with the ideal world that you wish for. A world where your family comes home. Yeah, that's right. She didn't say anything more than she'd look for it. She didn't say that she'd find it. But I was prepared for that from the beginning. But even so, the child promised that as long as I didn't give up, there was a faint chance of it happening. And then there's this. She's going to look for what would be the best. So, whether or not that's good or not, hard to say, but at least she's going to try to find the best possible option. And in the end, she said this. I'm giving you a chance for revenge. In exchange, I promise to search for and bring you the happiest resolution among the possibilities you're capable of accepting. So, that's all I can really ask. I've known it was a tough bet from the very beginning. After all, I have no family in my 1998. Even just a small chance of shaking that absolute zero would be worth it. I was warned beforehand that even if I succeeded in my revenge, it might be a wasted effort. There's also a chance the same way that we are technically a different person from the us that exists in the normal timeline. I mean, technically Battler has a different form that's been participating in the Witch's game. So it's possible that a version of Battler that knows nothing about any of this additional stuff goes back to live a normal life with the normal Angie, and the Battler that's been drinking Renove's tea can basically just dimension hop along with me. So, yeah, there's no lie in that part. Beato's game board is perfect. Even having you around makes the chances of Beato losing so slim that it's doubtful you could even dream of it happening once in your lifetime. In other words, your chance of winning is almost zero, so absolutely that it could be regarded as infinitely close to zero. So Burn can be forgiven for saying that part in such an evasive way. But I can say for sure that she was tricking you when she let you get your hopes up. After all, even if you could overcome astronomical odds and win, the person your family will come back to isn't you. It's the 6-year-old Angie that exists in 1986, the true Ushiromi Angie, not you. Burn will still probably go around the billions of fragments searching for the best world for you, but didn't she tell you that she planned on bringing it to you as a present, but wasn't able to find it? She did. Heh, giggle. You're finally starting to notice, aren't you? No reward has been prepared for you in this battle. No, to the contrary, when smashed, Beato's game board will disappear, then you as a piece will disappear. The sort of goal you'd be capable of accepting is completely no. I'll proclaim it upon my name. Upon the name of the Witch of Certainty, Lambda Delta, I proclaim that it certainly doesn't exist. That can't be. That's what Burn lied about. Or should I call it speaking in riddles? She made you misunderstand and think you could be saved. I came to clear that up. In other words, no matter how hard I fight, no matter how hard I pursue victory, my family won't come back to me. Right, they won't come back. With certainty. Oh ho 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 ho. The Witch of Certainty says it with certainty. Isn't this incredible? Several ancient kings have dedicated historical buildings to me because they wanted me to give them certainty, and here I am graciously giving it to you as a present. Isn't this really incredible? Cute and marvelous? Oh ho ho ho, but I have a single good proposition for you. Damn, I'm getting completely overwhelmed. I knew I shouldn't have listened, and now I'm starting to be overwhelmed by this witch Lambda Delta. My opponent is Burn, not you. Didn't I just say it's possible for the two of us to talk about something that benefits us both? I've said that from the beginning. So listen to me. You have no choice. Okay, I'll listen. Just gotta listen, right? I finally lost control over my emotions and exploded from the inside. I don't have a clue anymore. I believed that I was Angie, but at some point I stopped being Angie. That's right, I'm Angie, not Angie. Who am I? I'm not my parents' child nor my brother's little sister. I'm just a piece in a witch's game. There's no need to be so pessimistic. I mean, think about it, okay? Right now you're together with Battler Oni-chan. While it's true that you can't tell him your name, at least you're positioned as his ally in a game where he battles with a witch, and you're able to be with him for all eternity. Know what it means? I can't stand it, but I understand. In other words, as long as Oni-chan keeps getting a tie in this game, it will continue forever. Continuing to tie means continuing the game for eternity, and it means that I can remain with Oni-chan as a piece. But if Oni-chan wins or loses, and the curtain closes on the game, you as a piece will disappear. Then again, Lambda Delta, your goal is to keep Burn Castell in a perpetual stalemate. So you're trying to convince Angie to work toward the aims of a stalemate. You as a piece will disappear. How do you define happiness for a game piece? Getting used by someone playing the game, nothing more. You won't find it when the game's shut in the closet gathering dust, right? In the past, the Seven Sisters of Purgatory said it as well. Furniture's happiness comes from being used, not from being stored away. That's right. I am now the witch's furniture. Let's change things around a bit. To be honest, I want this game to continue in a tie for all eternity. An unending game in an eternal cage is an eternal cage. I mean, at least you're being honest with me about it. An absolute closed room that never opens for all time, and that'll finally make Burn surrender. You know Beato does want to win a bit. Victory by making Battler surrender, but that's actually a problem for me. After all, if the game ends, the closed room will fall apart, so I'll go easy on Battler a bit to stop him from surrendering. Don't worry, okay? When Battler's about to surrender, I'll become his ally. But you know, I get the feeling that Beato is faintly starting to realize. I think she's starting to realize that her victory won't come for all eternity in this game. And that's the thing. We're like getting... And that's why you were threatening her earlier about like she's not allowed to lose. And you're trying to goad her into going for a win. But you don't actually want her to win. You just want to make sure she doesn't lose. Whereas Beato's initial interest in things was that she didn't give a shit if she won or lost or stayed in a stalemate. She just wanted to have fun. But she herself doesn't like the idea of feeling trapped. So when she realized, hey, your goal is to basically use her and everyone else in an eternal trap. But she is, of course, the Endless Witch. Beato's stupid, so she optimistically thinks that even so, she'll surely win eventually. Like she just has to repeat this game on and on endlessly. Of course, pretty much all blondes are morons, giggle giggle. In this game of witches, there will never be a victory or loss. I won't let her win, and I won't let her lose, with certainty. Burn noticed that, so she looked for the most powerful piece for breaking that deadlock, found you and threw you in, to make this game end, you see. To make this game end. What's a piece's role when the game ends? I'll state it clearly. Your existence is a contradiction. Your reason for existence is to bury yourself in the darkness of despair. My goal is to defeat Beato and release my captive family, and yet, even if I succeed, I won't be rewarded. You cannot lose, and you won't be rewarded if you win. So I've brought you a third choice, and that choice will make our interests coincide, continuing the tie for all eternity. Yes. As long as the tie continues forever, this world will not crumble. What is this world? What is this world? It's the world of the game with the witch. A world where Beato and Battler fight for all eternity. And at that same time, it's a world where you get to be with Battler for all eternity. My head was spinning. That confusion became a hot liquid, and I felt it pouring from my eyes. It was so hot that it felt like I'd burned my face. Right? Angie Beatrice, since Burn Castell's goal is to end the game and end the world where you and Battler can interact, why should you be her ally? That kid tricked you, you see? She made it look like you might be saved if you became her piece, but I won't deceive you there. So I'll say it, Angie. Become my chess piece. Unlike Burn, I won't offer you rewards based on lies that certainly will never be granted, as long as you become my piece and help me so that this world certainly never ends. Then with certainty I swear upon my name that this world will certainly continue. That's not all. I'll add on a bonus. This rule that binds you. I'll clear it away for you. Well, of course, I'll only do it after you've sworn to become my piece, okay? In my own throat there was a thick, loud gulping sound. I shouldn't have listened. If I hadn't listened, I could have remained an innocent little sister praying for my brother's victory. But I might be different now. I might have been degraded into a witch's furniture. One of that cares about nothing but being by One-Chan's side. I'm not telling you to betray your brother, okay? If it looks like Battler's gonna lose, you can save him with all you've got. On the other hand, when Battler closes in on Beato too much, I want you to hold back a little. That's all I'm asking, alright? Don't worry, there's no need to actually betray Battler. Battler can't win against Beato alone. That's why Burn threw you in, you see. As long as you don't lend a hand, Battler will be unable to win against Beato for all eternity. See? It's really simple, isn't it? Giggle, giggle, ho ho, uh-huh. Ha ha ha, yeah. Psychotic cunt noises. Hey!